Hi everyone, if you have a startup idea and you want to get it off the ground fast without sinking all of your funds into development, then this video is for you. The goal is to launch quickly, iterate and improve based on feedback. Get the product in the hands of your customers, learn and work on it. There is no time to be wasted, you have to move, you have to be proactive, you have to get your product to the market, to the first customers, to early adopters. Do not spend a year building your MVP because you want to make it perfect and you are in fear that your first customers won't like it. Doing interviews, surveys, asking your friends and family is nowhere near to real customer feedback. What's worse, you can get some false information and get on a wrong track. So in this video, I'll explain exactly how to build your MVP so you can launch as soon as possible, gather real-world feedback and iterate your way to success. We'll go over several things. What to do prior to your launch while you're still in development phase, which tools to use for development in order to launch as soon as possible, which features to include in your MVP, how to gather feedback, iterate and improve your MVP, and should you monetize your MVP. One thing is for sure, your app won't get developed in a few days. So meanwhile, we have some work to do. One of the worst things that could happen is actually to launch your MVP in front of nobody. Sharing it on your Instagram story won't help much. So you need to have some potential users of your app ready. There are two things you can do. First one is to create a small community around your topic. This could be done in multiple ways. It could be easy and it could be hard. And the second one is to create a waiting list. And this should be much easier. And let's break it down in several steps that you need to follow in order to make this successful. First, create a landing page where you will explain your app and its benefits, how it's going to help people who sign up for the waiting list. Offer a small incentive for signing up, like early access, exclusive updates, maybe educational or free PDF, something of value. And then gather an email list. You can do this on Apollo or instantly. They allow you to filter and niche down. Or you can find your target audience via LinkedIn search or Sales Navigator. The goal is to acquire a few thousand of emails and LinkedIn contacts, and then later when you reach out to them, the goal is to have just a few hundred people who actually sign up for the waiting list. After that, send cold emails and messages to your email list and LinkedIn contacts and briefly explain your product and ask if they're going to sign up, and when you launch, when you notify them, if they're going to become first users and early adopters. And it's important not to do this too early, because if it's few months early, those people who signed up will forget what this is all about when you finally reach out to them. So start with the waiting list maybe a month before you plan to launch, but be sure that you will launch at the time you planned. That's important. And then 2-3 weeks prior to launch, you need to send a sequence of emails to warm up your audience. And in those emails, you're going to share some of more insights and benefits they're going to get if they become users and if they register. And finally, when you launch your product, just let everyone know that you launched your product and then that they can sign up now and use it. And don't forget to encourage them to share feedback with you, because at this stage, this is the most important thing. So this is what you can do while you're developing your app or you're close to launch. But how do you make sure that you launch as soon as possible, preferably less than 3 months? The answer is no code. Why no code? Because it will allow you to launch quickly, to make quick iterations, to quickly add new features, do changes and refine your product. You might be thinking that your idea can't be implemented using no-code tools, but let me prove you wrong. I know that these tools have limitations, and it's common belief that you can't build advanced software using these tools, but there is this one stack that enables you to do highly custom things, to create basically whatever you imagine without any design or functionality limitations. It also gives you ability to write custom code, to do API integrations, and to enhance your product with AI. And this no-code stack is Webflow, Xano, and Visit. You might already know that Webflow is awesome website no-code builder, but it's definitely not a tool where you can entirely build your MVP. But adding Xano and Visit to the equation changes the story. Many don't even know that you can combine no-code tools, but let me explain you how Webflow, Visit and Xano work together. In order to better understand the stack, we need to go over some basic anatomy of every web application. Every project, whether it's a simple website or a complex AI-driven SaaS, is split into two main parts: front-end and back-end. Front-end is what user interacts with: layout, buttons, text, images, colors, fields, everything that you see on the website. And that's traditionally built using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And backend is what powers the application behind the scenes. It handles data storage, logic, user authentication, and integrates with various APIs. It's commonly built with languages like PHP, Python, Node.js, or frameworks like Laravel, Django, Express, and stuff like that. Together, frontend and backend form the foundation of your app. If you want to build new SaaS or AI platform, you'll need frontend to handle user-facing side, and a backend to handle all the data and business logic. For the front-end part, we use webflow, which is completely capable of handling this area, and it's the best front-end no-code tool on the market without a doubt. So instead of writing HTML and CSS, it actually gives you the ability to do that in the visual interface. So it's not a typical drag and drop tool, it's actually a visual coding tool. This means that you have full design capabilities and there are no limitations in terms of how your website is going to look like. And next up is backend, and in this case we are going to use Xano. This replaces, for example, PHP or Python or Node.js. Using Xano you can build API endpoints, you can create custom logic, custom functionality. You can actually do the programming, backend programming in the Xano without the code. But still it has some programming principles like variables, statements, loops, conditions, queries and stuff like that. Xano has its own database, so you can create fully scalable database and run operations to the database. And it's not closed system. It allows you to write your code, it allows you to integrate with other API endpoints, and it's really fast, secure and optimized. And then last but not least we have Wiz. And Wiz is like a bridge between those two. Wiz is between Webflow and Xano and connects them. It basically gives us ability to send data from Webflow to Xano and to receive data from Xano to Webflow and display it on the website. If you imagine some type of MVP of Airbnb, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Amazon and those apps, the MVPs of those could be entirely built with this stack, so you wouldn't encounter any limitations. I know you have a lot of ideas and things that you would like to add to your first MVP version, but you can't let yourself go too far with the list of features. You have to remember the goal is to launch fast. Focus on launching quickly with a single feature that captures your core value proposition. It's okay if you do some things manually behind the scenes. Whatever you can do this way, don't add it to your MVP. Later you can productize and automate these things. It's important to identify the main problem that you're solving and outline the simplest path for users to get that benefit. It would be great if you could implement an easy way for users to give you feedback, so that could be a feature for itself. For other features, create a wishlist and don't build any features that users didn't ask for. The perfect scenario would be when you have multiple users wishing the same feature. That way you know that users need that. You can't blindly create features and add it to your MVP. That is not going to work. There are a few ways you can gather feedback. You could have a wish list for your users and encourage them to email you whenever they need something. You could have calls with your users when they have some problem with your platform. When MVP is launched, have an easy interface where they can leave a feedback or frequently send them emails to ask if they have anything valuable to share with you. The most important thing is to actually care about your customers and that they feel it. It will be much easier for them to leave feedback if they feel heard. When adding features, you might notice that there is a specific feature that is the reason why customers use your app. And then that leads you to create other features around that one. This might push you away from your original product idea, but that's okay, don't fight it. If you see that your customers are not buying your original idea and they are somehow naturally creating a new product, that's great. Just pivot, don't be in love with your idea, kill it. Listen to your customers, let them drive and pivot. A big question is always, should I charge for my MVP? My recommendation, especially at the beginning, is to give everything for free. I mean, at least your first MVP version or maybe even a few updates. Why? Because you need to validate whether the product solves a genuine pain point before slapping a price on it. If people use it, they will ask for new features and improvements. And those could be your paid features down the line. It's important to let users use your product. Maybe it's not even worth paying, but they will give you feedback and you're going to pull out useful insights and create features they will pay for. If nobody is using your free product, then you'll learn something. Your product is not resonating, it's not solving a problem, it's not worth putting more time into it. But still, feedback could drive you towards new changes or complete pivot. Of course, not all products can or should be free from the get-go. But in many cases, the goal is to understand the true value you're delivering before attaching a price. And that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching and go build your no-code MVP today. Remember, the sooner you launch, the faster you will learn and improve. Good luck out there and see you in the next video.